What up guys, welcome back to Underneath the Veil of Marigolds, and today is going to be the creation process of the Decoy Poppet. I've gotten a few questions about the Decoy Poppet, and I'm going to go over those questions real quick, and if I have anything else to say at the end of the video, because I'm going to have an overvoice describing everything I'm doing, per usual. It's just a lot easier for me that way to not fucking forget, because when I'm talking and doing something at the same time, it fucks with my mental focus, so it's easier always just to put an overvoice. So I got 7 questions about this Decoy Poppet, and the first one is, can you touch it, move it around? How do you know when it's taken hits? So yes, of course you can touch it. This doll is designed to absorb any negative energies and influences, hexes, curses. Doesn't matter if it's jar curse, all hexes, curses, okay, and bindings that are performed on you. It's going to go to the doll, not you. That's the whole point of this protection ward, is to absorb shit. You want the doll to absorb shit. If you have some evil eye rubbed off on you because you're out and about, maybe you're in school, you're in college, or at work, and you come home and you absorb some negative shit and it's in your vessel and you go home and touch the doll, you can transfer it into the doll. So yes, touch it. It's okay to touch it. There's not going to be any transference. The whole point is that you programmed it to absorb any ill intent, even if it's attached to you currently, which it shouldn't be, because if someone's sending you a hex or a curse or a binding, you already programmed it to take on those traits. So there's no reason that it's going to go to you. This is supposed to be a mimic of you, and you programmed it and petitioned it that way. You have to be specific about what you want the doll to do. The petition can be a long-ass petition if you wanted it to be, as long as you make sure it understands what you need it to do for you. All right, I hope that makes sense. How do you know if it's taken hits? Normally, you will see some things on the doll. And on the petition, you can be specific about what you want to see happen. That will help those physical signs onto the doll. So the more specific you are, like I said, the easier it is for you to read this, especially if this is the first time you've ever made this doll. So this is probably going to be a little bit more complicated for you to tell what's going on, but you really need to trust your intuition with this type of stuff. I read my dolls based on the location that I'm putting them in. Like, I put them in front of a window or a gateway, an energy flow way, for a reason. Those are traditional places to put the doll: close to a door, close to a threshold, above a fireplace, next to a window, because those are all traditional places for energy to flow right through, because it's something that opens and closes. I have another video that goes over this in detail to hide your energy from divination. I talk about that for a long time. So if you want to go through that video and get some more tips and a better understanding of what I'm saying, I would suggest it. And the other video on how to hex and curse and protect yourself from hexing and cursing at the same time. I made a bunch of playlists, so it's easy for you guys to find these things now. So please look for the videos before you start asking me all these questions. I have about 184 videos on my channel now, and 80% of them are spell work and or lessons, 101 class lessons on these things. If you don't see it right away, that's because you're searching newest, oldest. I suggest kind of going from oldest to newest at that point. I have gone over these things, and I've gone over them a few times. So if you want to hear more detail about that, I suggest watching those 2 videos. Additionally, yes, they are gateways. Those are thresholds. That's where the energy flows through. I usually put mine near a window, okay? Now you know. Or you need to have it by a door or by a fireplace, or anything that can be scried into. If you have a silverback mirror, people can access that. Regular mirrors these days, no, it's not a big deal. They don't make them like that anymore. So that's traditionally where that lore came from. It's a silver-backed mirror, not a regular ass cheap mirror that you're gonna find in an apartment, because they're trying to cut costs nowadays. So you'd be lucky if any of those are actually real silver-backed mirrors, okay? You would have to go to like some antique roadshow shit to find some good stuff like that. Or maybe a thrift shop and you'll find a diamond in a rough, and it came from someone's grandma's house who passed away. They don't make that shit like that anymore. I mean, you can probably get them custom made, and maybe some select few places still make them for like really rich motherfuckers, but it is not like that no more. But that's where the lore came from. That's why people lock their mirrors. You don't necessarily need to lock regular mirrors, because those are not silver lined. If you have a silverback mirror, I would probably keep it next to that. Then that way you don't have to put it next to a window seal. you can really just tuck it behind anything, because if you have people who come over to your place, you're not going to want them fiddling around with the doll and whatnot, or, you know, ruining it in any type of way, or out of the reach of your animals. You don't want them chewing on that shit because, you know, there's stuff in there they probably shouldn't be looking around at. It's kind of a gross little doll. That's why I told you guys to place it near a window. And if someone is astral traveling and or trying to access your dreams to figure out what kind of protections you have, you need to have it somewhere where it's, you know, it's blocked in your mind's eye. So when you're asleep and you're just staring at a curtain, they're like, I don't fucking understand. I don't see anything there, because they're seeing it through your perspective. That's why I tell you to put it in places out of sight. It makes the most sense if you think about it, because that's what someone's going to do. Especially if they're a highly skilled practitioner, they're going to be able to do these types of things. Is pry into your dreams and astral travel and look around your shit. You don't want it laying out in the open so they can figure out where the hell it is. But at the same time, you don't need to carry it around with you everywhere. It's not necessary. You programmed it to take all these hits, ill intent, hexes, curses, and bindings. You can be anywhere throughout your day in the fucking world, and it's gonna go there. Should be wearing amulets on the daily, at least something, at least one piece, you know, that protect you, that absorb hits when you're out and about, that protect you from the evil eye, that just protect your energy in general. You kind of want it out of sight, but you want to know where it is, but you don't want an actual visual on it. You just want to make sure the energy can flow through that gateway, because that's where it's going to come in through first. The windows, the doors, the fireplace, anything that has an open, a close effect that leads to outside. How to tell if it's taken hits and not naturally aging? Depending on the material that you make it out of, like clay, that's really going to start flaking the clay away. You would have to seal it in order for it to last longer. So the sun and the elements of the weather right next to the window aren't going to fuck it up. So you would have to put some space in between that and the window, but have it, the light and stuff still be able to hit it, because that's the first thing. It needs this, the energy that's coming, the heat missile energy that's seeking to get you needs to see that poppet first so it can divert and go there. I just tuck mines into the back side of my curtain. I have a little tie around my curtain and I just stick it right in there. So when you come in here, you don't see it. You just see a curtain. It doesn't look like anything's there. But like I was saying, the clay is going to get kind of flaky and stuff naturally, especially if exposed to the sun for a long period of time and or damp, moisturous type of weather. It will make it have like this bubbly kind of sweating, spotting stuff on it, and that's not an actual sign of a hit. I mean, it could be at the same time, but it depends how fast it happened. Did it happen overnight? Was it fine the day before? And where is the spotting occurring? Did you program it to see spotting in your crown chakra, your third eye chakra, your heart, your throat, your sacral, etc.? Did you program it to see certain things happen on those chakras? I'd highly recommend doing that, because then you'll actually know that it's taking a hit. You have to be specific with that petition, like I said earlier, to see those signs. If it's showing up there, then you know, because that's what you said you needed to see in order to know that. Okay? So hopefully that kind of takes some of that out. I'm making mines out of cloth, and the cloth will fade and become lighter over time, especially if it's in direct sunlight. And some abnormal fraying and stuff would appear on the poppet, like anywhere, the chest, the head, anywhere all over the body, especially if my animals aren't fucking with it. There shouldn't be any holes. There shouldn't be any rad discoloration overnight. Strings and stuff shouldn't be coming out of it. So if any of those things are happening in an unnatural sort of way, especially if no one's been touching your doll except for you and you're paying attention to what it looks like, then I would say that's a sign that something's happening. And I like to program mines to show things in the chakra areas, so I know what they're trying to target. Is it my mentality? Are they trying to fuck up my psychic sense or make it so I can't see them in my dreams? Are they trying to fuck up my throat chakra so I can't express myself properly, you know, etc.? Think of what each chakra actually does for you, and then program it to see any signs that they've been attacked or messed with. That's what I do with mine. I think it's the easiest way to tell and not question yourself about it. So I'd recommend that for you. Can you change what's inside of it? Yes, you do not have to use the exact same things I'm using. Just find things that have relatively the same metaphysical correspondences and use that if it meshes better with your energy. If you're saying that you want to change what's in it by the time you've already made it, I would not suggest doing that. I would suggest leave it. Ponder about what you want to put inside of it for a while first, and then make your doll, especially if you're kind of wishy-washy about these things, maybe you should take longer to think about it. Don't fuck around with your doll after it's done. The next time around, you can always replace it with something else. Or you can just make another one right now. See which one lasts longer. So then you know what ingredients to use next time around, which ones were the best. So then you have two of them to compare. So that might actually be really useful for you. So if you want to try that, try that. How long to keep it? So this is going to be you gauging how fucked up it is. The last one I made, it was out of clay. It lasted me for 3 years. So it's a pretty long fucking time that these dolls stay alive. And this is something you're going to have to gauge intuitively. I cannot give you no exact time frame of when it's going to fall apart because I'm not you, I'm me. And I know how much people hate me versus how much people hate you. So I can gauge that because the doll's going to be with me. I'm not watching your doll. Over time, when you make these dolls, it'll sink in better. You'll grasp the concept better. It'll make better sense. Roughly, they can last up 3 years, and this is coming from somebody who gets a lot of hate, and a lot of people don't like me because I just say whatever the fuck I want and I don't care. That irks them for some fucking reason because they must really suppress themselves and it kills them inside, but they don't want to change because they're a little bitch. If you're similar to me, a lot of people don't fucking like you, then, you know, give it a couple years and change it maybe. Or if they hate you a lot more than me, maybe replace the fucker once a year. It should last a long time regardless of how much shit people are sending you. People, when they send hexes and curses these days, they're not very well trained and versed in doing it. They don't cancel out all the, you know, what ifs. They have this, what if they don't? They're not really thinking real hardcore and strong about it like they should be. Your doll will last quite a while because people send poorly designed hexes and curses all the fucking time. You shouldn't have to replace it anytime fucking soon, that's for sure. But if you think it's got too much fraying, it looks like the life is literally fucking sucked the fuck out of it, and it's just gonna perish and fall the fuck apart if you just tap it once, replace that goddamn doll. It should be only getting close to that stage. Don't let it go all the way where it's looking like it's gonna fall apart if it just drops out of its window seal. That's not good. That's not good. So I suggest if it's getting there, starting to look that way, like it's hanging on its last thread, about to, then change it. You should actually make another doll before you kill that doll off though, because you want to transition into still being protected. You still want things to divert and go to the doll, and you should have many wards already to help you blast away this energy, return its sender, or siphon it so you can use it for something else, something that will have you protected while you're creating another doll. And if you don't have anything like that, then you need to hold on to your raggedy ass doll until you make another doll to replace that one, and then strip the old doll of what the magic was for it. And then basically all you gotta do is just fucking cleanse it with something really strong and say that you remove the magic that you've had on the doll. Just throw it away, take it out of your home, and put it into the trash, the big bin. Or you could fucking burn it. That's up to you. If you have a bonfire like outside and you can have a bonfire, burn your doll and then say aloud what you're doing. That'll help strip away the magic and stuff, and it will burn away the baneful magic at the same time. I highly suggest that one. That one's a really good method, but that's only if you're able to do that outside. If not, you'd have to go to a beach or something where they have those free bonfire things and do it over there, and that'd probably be the safest way, because then you can't catch the fucking sand on fire. You can't. Be safer than doing it in your home, because that's gonna be a big ass flame depending on the size of your poppet. Your alarms and shit will be going off. All right, next is, do you keep it close or far from you? Kind of already went over that one. So you don't want it super close to you. You want it to be somewhere in your home. Like I said, it could be in the window, above the fireplace, close to a door, anything that opens and closes. You don't need it right next to you all the fucking time, and you shouldn't, because you and your mimic are going to be this close together. How's the magic supposed to be diverting from you? You don't need it to be that fucking close. Keep mines in my altar room, but it's not like sitting right next to me. I don't do that. It just needs to be in a window somewhere. That's all. How and where to dispose of it, I kind of went over that. You don't really need to do anything elaborate. So you can either cleanse it to strip it of what you've done, your magic, strip it away, and then throw it away. Or, like I said, burn the doll and then state aloud what you're trying to accomplish by burning the doll, saying the energy is going to be stripped away, this magic's undone, blah, blah, blah. Whatever your own unique words you want to say there. And lastly, there's a question about when I was saying there are signs about insects and stuff that could show up. Don't have to kill the bugs. Either the person used bugs in their spell, or the deities that they work with they come with those types of insects with them, and or they are messengers of some sort, because the flies and stuff are attracted to disgusting things. So if the magic sent there is really stagnant and disgusting, that's kind of how that happens. Now, I don't want you to think everything is a fucking sign, especially when the weather changes. There are going to be more bugs inside your home. If it's cold out, spiders are going to run inside. And when it's somewhat hot out or in the spring, there's bugs every fucking where. I have way more bugs in my house than I do in the winter, actually. But that's just kind of where I live. It's kind of like that. If you leave your windows open or your doors open a lot, or you're going in and out of your home a lot, there's probably going to be gnats and flies in your home occasionally. And if there's like an absurd amount, 5 flies in your home is not an absurd amount. It's not. You're not under any spiritual attack with 5 flies in your fucking home. So if there's tons of them, like you're going into a room and there's a fuck ton of them, like 20 plus, something odd might be going on, but you need to cancel out, like, do you have old food in that area? Is there something, a little mouse or something that died in that area? Is your fruit on the table going bad? Because bugs are attracted to those types of things. They give off odors. If there's something stinky or smelly over there, they're going to go over there. So, and they will find ways in. If there's little cracks and holes and stuff in your home, they're going to get in there. That's just what insects do. And mice too. Doesn't always symbolize that you're being under attack. You need to intuitively feel out how that energy feels to you and piece together any signs that have happened before then. How have you been feeling? How has your life been going for the past few months, not just the last few days? Because we can all have a shitty few days or a shitty fucking week. It can happen. It's important to cancel out everything before you jump to a conclusion. Just because I said that's a sign, it doesn't mean it's actually a sign. Just want to put that out there. I don't want people getting paranoid just because of what I said. You got to really, really hyper analyze the situation before you think it's actually baneful magic sent to you, is what I'm saying. Make sure you do that and cancel all those things out first. I think that's all for that little piece of paper. I'm gonna go ahead and start, and I'll have my voiceover per usual. And if there's anything else that I can think of, I will talk about it at the end. All right, let's get into this creation process. So the items you're going to need is a needle and thread. If you choose that route, you can also try and super glue the cloth together or get some sort of cloth glue, use staples, and get a cloth of your choosing that has your essence on it, preferably. And you're gonna need some dragon's blood incense, that's also optional. And I'm using a black candle, Venus flytraps, and sphagnum moss, obsidian chips, garnet chips. You're gonna need something to write with. I'm using 4 different tag locks. I'm using blood, hair, fingernail clippings, and some of my saliva. And I created my siphoning sigil. You're gonna need some paper for the petition, stinging nettle, and garlic skins. I pre-stitched my doll and sewed it up just a little bit and left a hole in the side of it to stuff all the things in there. I figured that process was going to take way too damn long, so I decided to do that off camera. And you're going to need a siphoning sigil if you choose to go that route. You do not have to make it a siphoning decoy poppet. That is an optional thing. And on the other side of that paper is my petition, which is actually the incantation. My personal incantation reads, with this mimic of your first and last name, born, say your full birth date, you shall absorb all bane. Life force essence sent from my attackers will make your charge sustain. This is my will, and so shall it be. Now I flip that petition to the right, and I like to see damage done on the chakras of the poppet, so that's what I'm writing on this petition, overlaying the incantation and my name and birth date. So I'm writing down, show all bane sent on the chakras of the decoy poppet. Then I also write that I want the poppet to have a vampiric siphoning quality to siphon the life essence of the source of where the bane was sent. What I'm doing here is optional. I just like running things through Dragon's Blood because it heightens its power that much more. And then I like to hold my incantation and the sigil, the petition paper, really is what it is, in between my hands and focus on what this petition is going to do inside the doll. And I create my imagery and then I spit on that shit because I have that imagery in my head, so it's already charged up in my saliva, and then I just let it out onto the petition. And then I anoint it with my blood. And my blood is something that I do have to focus on charging up when I'm putting it down. And then I go ahead and program the rest of my tag locks to be decoys. I think I forgot about the candle. So on the candle, I just inscribed Decoy Poppet, and I put my full name and birth date. And you can also write some other things like all bane sent my way shall go to the decoy on the candle. Anything that pertains to all bane going to the decoy. At this point in time, when I put my hand on top of the poppet, is when I say I want all bane to go towards these tag locks instead of the living version of myself. Anything along those lines that is specific will help program the doll. Now we're going to go in with the garlic skins, and I'm going to enchant these to absorb a sickness and disease that might be sent my way. Moving on to the Venus flytrap heads, and these are great to capture all bane, all ill intent, etc. Having an actual live Venus flytrap would be very beneficial because they literally eat all the hexes and curses, and that helps them grow and flourish. So it's keeping itself alive by doing that. And then your fly problem wouldn't be much of a fly problem if you had that thing around. Next runner up is the Stinging Nettle, and that is great for unbinding, so people cannot bind you. Lastly is the Sphagnum Moss, and with the Sphagnum Moss, it's basically going to be the stuffing of the doll, and this is great for absorbing, and that's exactly what you need in this doll, is something that absorbs all hexes, curses, baneful intent sent your way. So that's what this moss does. Now, the doll doesn't have to look completely stuffed. It can be kind of flat or lumpy and not very puffy at all. It's your doll. It doesn't really matter how full it is. If you are someone who prefers it to look more on the fuller side, then keep the rest of your shirt or pillowcase or whatever you used and cut up more pieces of that to help fill the doll up. Moving on to the stones. So I chose garnet and obsidian, and the baneful property of garnet is a vampiric quality, and that's what you need. You need a siphoning vampiric quality if you were going to make this into a siphoning-esque decoy poppet. So that's what I'm charging the garnet for. And for the obsidian, I am just enchanting it to absorb, because you need a lot of things in here that absorb. That's the whole point. Of course, after you've added everything, you gotta stitch this little motherfucker up. Make sure it's stitched up good so none of your shit falls out. Once that's done, I usually speak the incantation again. Within this mimic, You say your name and your birth date. You shall absorb all bane, life force essence sent from my attackers will make your charge sustain. This is my will, and so shall it be. I will write that on the screen because that probably sounds confusing as fuck. Sit with it, envision all the baneful energy going into the doll, and then after that, rub it across your body like an egg cleanse, or hold it over your chakras, whichever one, and then breathe the breath of life into it. Look at this goofy ass thing with its arm up in the air. It reminds me of that guy off the fucking Goonies. Hey, you guys! You know what I'm talking about? You guys are probably like, what the fuck wrong is this bitch? Well, if you're younger, you might not know, but if you're older, you might know. Any fucking way. Let your candle burn out, and then your doll will be ready to use. So I vampirically siphon the person's energy who's sending me bane. I find it the easiest way to keep this decoy poppet charged. You don't have to do it this way unless it fits your ethical fancy. If not, then find a different way to keep it charged and have it sustain its life. You can charge it under the full moon, charge it under a dark moon. You can use elements to charge it as well. It depends on how you wrote that petition. What is your intentions to keep the doll charged? Be specific. That's all you really got to do. Other than that, if this is still confusing for you guys, please comment below and or send me an email. I have everything that you need to really know how to contact me is in my about section of my YouTube. It's up where the banner bar is and the photo that I have of myself there. It'll be linked in that area. If you guys need more references or different items to use, you can either comment or send me an email and I will respond as soon as I can. Until next time, I will see all you lovely little brujitas later.